17-18 where he's dropped down a bit, but he still has made contributions to the England team, and it's time English cricket looks well after him. It doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're a South African or a West Indian or an Englishman or an Indian, you've been a part of this team because you've performed. And you should be judged on the basis of performance, and England need to do that.
It's interesting that you say he's 31, he's got 6 or 7 years ahead of him, because that seems to be the trend in India as well. You've got Rahul Dravid at 38, Tendulkar's 38, Lakshman is 36, going on, he'll be 37 soon. Do you sometimes feel that there's a fear that they might all go away at the same time, that the next generation is not ready, or do we worry too much about events before they happen?
You worry too much about events before they happen, because you never know, you might get a new star, on the block. They need the opportunities. When you give them the opportunities, they might come through the ranks. Suresh Raina now. Now that's talent. He's still only 24 years of age. I think this tour of England should, see Raina learning a lot. Big learning curve for him. Tour of England, young age. He's got hundreds in Test match cricket. But if he does well in England, that could really set him up for at least another 7-8 years, if not 10 years. And just coming back to Peterson, the last few innings of his, I think if he looks back at himself, some of his shot selection is not what you expect from, Kevin Peterson. And a lot of times he's thrown it away when he's been batting 70, 80, 90, which was not what you saw Peterson earlier on. Plus, I wonder if he has the same kind of hunger he had when we saw him about 5 years ago. Hunger is a very important thing. There's one thing about being a very good player and a talented player, but you've got to be passionate and you've got to have the hunger. I mean, prime example is the three who are playing there. Dravid, Tendulkar and Lakshman. Lakshman's still young, but if you look at Dravid and Tendulkar, they're passionate, work ethic still the same, and they're hungry. They want to get runs every time they go out.
What's your view on Dravid, Tendulkar and Lakshman?
They should play till they keep performing. It's about performances and it's not about age. They're still the best batsmen in the team. I know young players will come through, they'll get their place, but they'll have to earn their place as well. If guys like Tendulkar, Dravid and Lakshman are getting hundreds, contributing in the team's success, why not? And I would just go off the series. When Dravid got that 100 in Jamaica, a lot of people asked me what were the positives out of the series. I said it's Rahul Dravid. Because the Rahul Dravid I have seen at its peak, and the Rahul Dravid I saw from 2007 to probably the Jamaican Test match was a shadow of Dravid. A good player, no doubt, but not the same class and the same quality. And I just started thinking whether he's past his best. But when I saw that knock in Jamaica and I watched every ball of it, it just showed the Rahul Dravid of the old. And this is going to be a big series for him. It's an important series for all three. And
is there a fear? Because you've been through that phase as well. When you come back and people are talking about age and everything, is there a fear that you start thinking, I'm going to be judged every 2 Test matches, so I better
No,
perform?
I don't think so. I don't think so they're judged on basis of every 2 Test matches. Neither was I judged on every basis of every 2 Test matches. They are big players. Look at their records. And that has happened because they've done well. And even if people are, it's wrong. It's not the right way to go about it. They've delivered for you more number of times and they're still doing it. So it's got nothing to do with age, it's about performances.
Who do you see as the youngsters coming up to replace him? The only batsman here who's not playing this Test match is Yuvraj, and Yuvraj's been around for a while too. But among the youngsters, come to that in a moment. Saurav was talking about the records. That's not a record you tamper around with too much. That's a lot of Test match runs.
Huge, and this is a huge series for him because they're up against a quality attack. They've got variety, and they'll need Rahul Dravid's technique at number 3 there.
Is he the number 3 he was?
Obviously, he's had great moments in his career. He's at the age of 38, he might not have the same reflexes or the same footwork as he had, say 5-6 years ago when he might have been a lot quicker on his feet. But there's nothing to take away from his technique. He'll still fight. He's got all the other qualities needed to bat well and be consistent at the top. And then of course you've got this man who's enjoying his cricket in the last 3 years or so. He's batting a lot more freely than he's done in a long time, and that's the reason why you just admire the fellow. He's been there 21 years. Still he's hungry. Still he chases the ball. You look at the passion that is seen when you see him play. And as far as VVS goes, when the chips are down, he comes to the party. He did it in Durban, he did it in Barbados, he did it in Mohali when, India needed runs to beat Australia in the Test match. He did it when Saurav was captain in Kolkata. Just a class player, great player.
Very few people have seen Tendulkar the cricket as up close as you have. Is he a different batsman in some ways now than he was 4 or 5 years ago?
See, when you play for so long, you go through ups and downs. It cannot be the same for 20 years. But what I saw of Tendulkar the last 2 years is probably the best. His knocks in South Africa is probably the best I've seen him bat in South Africa. And I told him that. I met him during the IPL. I said, I've seen you bat right throughout your career. You've had a terrific career. But what I saw in South Africa was probably the best you've played. And he's agreed. And you see him
The
bat.
best since 1989, you think?
I think the innings in Perth.
Yeah.
In 1991, his first. I don't think it was his first Test 100, but that 100 in Perth was up with the best. But these two Test match hundreds in South Africa were very, very special.
You know, and one of the reasons you must understand, he went through a period of injury. You know, he had that tennis elbow, so he could not bat as freely as he
And you can
wanted
see
to.
the numbers reflected once he comes out of that injury. See the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's played freely. He's played his shots. You know, he's not got bogged down at any stage, and that's made a huge difference. You know, as opposed to when he was injured, you know, there were times you thought he was restricted. You know, his whole approach to batting had changed. You know, there was a defensive mindset. But now, in the last 3 years, if he sees a ball, he'll smack it. And I agree with Saurabh. You know, if you look at, I've seen literally his entire career. You know, I've seen a lot of his hundreds as well. Perth was damn good, but the 155 he got in Chennai. In 97, I think 97 or 98 to set up the series. Yeah. I thought that was a series-winning innings, and these 200s in Cape Town. Cape Town was a terrific performance because the ball was doing so much. You know, and the way he adapted there, you know, he stood outside the crease. You know, he left balls outside the off stump. But what was amazing was every loose delivery, he put it away to the boundary. That is Tendulkar. When he started his career, that was how Tendulkar played. He would look for the boundary or look to score runs. If he couldn't score runs, then he would get that defensive technique out. There was a phase in his career where it was the other way around. Yes. You got the feeling that he was looking to defend more than score. So, you know, people go through phases. And
it's interesting you say that, because I asked him about the difference, and he said exactly what he said. He said, now I'm fit. It's almost as if he's saying, I want to execute something and my body's agreeing with me.
I think also you understand your batting as you grow older. Graham Gooch played till 40, and he was one of the best English batsmen ever. And Tendulkar, Dravid and Lakshman are the same. With age, you get to know what exactly are you doing, what you need to do in different situations. Like he spoke about the Cape Town Test match, you know, he batted outside the crease, he batted on different guards, and that can only come with experience and knowledge about your game. You may have the best talent when you come with quick feet and great hand-eye coordination, but when you get to that age of 35, 36, 37, you know exactly what you're doing. And sometimes when I watch him play, I know that he exactly knows what to do when, and the runs are on the cards.
Do you think he'd make 100 hundreds?
He'll make more.
No, did you think he would?
No, I never thought he would.
Astonishing figure.
Yeah, it's an amazing achievement. And when you start playing, or even when I saw him right throughout his career, I never thought about that landmark. I always knew that he would be the best player in the world along with Brian Lara. He's left behind Lara miles in the last 4 or 5 years. But getting to that figure is phenomenal, and for me, he's an amazing.
I mean, very good players make 10, 15 international hundreds. Ravi, you had a very good career. You made 12 international hundreds, in test match hundreds. But here you're looking 51, 48, 99. Let's
just enjoy it.
And that too. I mean, it's not like that he's scratching around. His last 2 or 3 hundreds have been as good as any of his earlier hundreds. You know, if you look at if he has to choose the top 500s in his career, I promise you the last 2 in South Africa will figure amongst them.
There's also one in Chennai against England when they came back after the bomb blast. That was a very special 100 too. We can keep talking about that.